seen the stage weigh-in take place, but that wasn't actually a real thing, was it? Can you tell us a little bit about what actually happened this morning and what time it was?
Yeah, it was interesting. I mean, obviously there's a lot was out of Top Rank's control here with the sort of funeral procession of Nipsey Hussle, and the Commission and Top Rank decided to stage the weigh-in this morning at 10 a.m. and then do, if you like, a staged weigh-in for TV later on, sort of almost UFC style. So it was something we haven't really experienced before. It was a bit chaotic. We had the glove selections, and Joe Gallagher felt that Lomachenko's gloves were quite light, wanted them weighed, and a little bit of mind games maybe as well. But no, it was an interesting experience. I mean, luckily both Lomachenko and Crolla make the lightweight limit quite comfortably, so they weren't too aggravated. But I think someone that was itchy at the weight might have not taken so kindly to today's activities. But it was difficult for the organisers, but all weighed in, all ready to go.
There was a lot of concern, wasn't there, that things would get tense because of the funeral and the whole, tensions.
Yeah, just the traffic down there. I mean, we had to have armed, police escort through the city centre here, and it wasn't ideal for the promoters. It wasn't easy. ESPN obviously had their staged televised weigh-in that they wanted to transmit, so everybody had to fulfil that. But it was a little bit chaotic this morning, but everyone weighed in within the limit, and like I said, ready to go.
How unsettling was that for the fighters, do you think?
I think because they made the weight very comfortably, not particularly unsettling. I don't think it was ideal. I think if they were struggling, then it really wouldn't have been ideal. But like I said, they made the weight comfortably, and Crolla's a very relaxed guy. Someone else, I was joking with Scott Quigg earlier. If it was Quiggy, he might have just stormed off after he weighed in, but Crolla was good as gold.
And there's an issue with gloves at the moment, isn't there? Can you tell us what's unfolding?
Yeah, I think Joe Gallagher just felt that the gloves were very light from Lomachenko. Wanted them weighed. I think that's getting done and approved by the California Commission. It's happened before, but like I said, maybe a little bit of mind games as well from Joe. He likes to do that, and a little bit of a heated debate earlier on, but all part and parcel of a big world championship fight.
Is Joe kind of a bit of a tense figure?
No, Joe's very intense, and he wants to make sure everything's fair for his fighter, so he's going to back his fighter to the hill. If he feels that a glove is light and he wants to make sure that's an 8-ounce glove, he's within his rights to get that weighed. So they'll do that, and they'll make sure it's all within the rules.
When's that going to get done, and how do you expect it to be resolved?
It may have been done already. The Commission's going to confirm that to us, and I'm sure it'll all be fine.
Eddie, have you got an update on the whole Okolie-Lebedev situation?
No, that's a fight that we're trying to do for the Dillian White card in July. We've made an offer to their team. We're waiting to hear back. There is interest. I'm sure they've got a lot of interest as well about not just fighting particularly someone else, but actually doing a fight in Russia as well, because he's a big name there, big figure. So, like I said, we're trying to make that fight for July, and hopefully we can get it over the line.
After the next week or so, there's going to be a lot of attention turning towards Jacobs Alvarez. How are you feeling about that fight?
I feel great. I'm so confident that Danny Jacobs can pull that off. I know it's a 50-50 fight, but I feel that it's almost spiritual. That everything that's happened to him, and not just because he deserves it because of what he's beaten in life with his cancer and stuff like that, but he's such a talented fighter. He's big, he's strong, he's fast. I really believe he's going to be triumphant on May the 4th.
Alvarez is kind of the big name in boxing, though. Is that not a concern for you, and is that not a concern for Jacobs that he probably has to knock him out?
I wouldn't say he's got to knock him out. I think he's got to win well. We hope and we believe that the Commission and Bob Bennett will give us a fair crack at the whip. They've got some excellent judges. All the focus, all the media attention is going to be talking about just that, and the fact that Canelo might have got some generous decisions in the last couple of fights. So we expect, like I said, a fair crack at the whip. And Jacobs knows he has to win well to make sure that he's triumphant on May the 4th.
Do you intend on stressing that to the Commission between now?
We're going through the process at the moment. We will make our objections to people who we don't feel should be on that panel, and they'll do the same, and we'll try and find a resolution that both camps are happy with.
Is it not part of you, because clearly you're very passionate about Jacobs, but that needs Alvarez to win because of the investment going into him from DAZN?
I don't need Alvarez to do anything other than all I need is a Danny Jacobs win. And don't get me wrong, the majority of the boxing world, in terms of the business people, want and need Canelo Alvarez to win this fight. The Zone probably want Canelo Alvarez to win this fight. I do not want Canelo Alvarez to win this fight. There is only one person I want to win this fight, and that's Danny Jacobs. And if he does, I'll be very, very happy, and it'll be sweet as a nut because we'll be upsetting the apple cart. And I'm just feeling a lot of support for people for seeing just that. People love an underdog. There's no bigger underdog than Danny Jacobs, and for an American challenging a Mexican, Cinco de Mayo in Las Vegas, I feel like there's going to be a lot of American support for Danny Jacobs, and I truly believe he's going to do it.
Golovkin will be fighting shortly after that, so presumably if Jacobs wins, you'll be looking at matching him.
I think if Jacobs beats Canelo, there's the rematch as well. You could look at it'd be a huge fight. Obviously, you've got the Golovkin rematch as well. That was a great fight with Jacobs first time around. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. But all that matters is that fight, Cinco de Mayo. It's a brilliant fight, Jacobs against Canelo. It's a unification fight. And we've got the other world champion as well, Demetrius Andrade, who's going to hold the key to the undisputed. And it's a very interesting time for the middleweights.
And finally, I know you've got a lot of high-profile British fighters who are going to be added to the undercard for Joshua. Can you give us an idea of what sort of opponents you're expecting to go in with? The likes of
Buatsi. Yeah, I mean, we've got Buatsi and Kelly will be having big steps up on the card. We're looking at opponents for them now. Obviously, we're trying to close the undisputed fight between Katie Taylor and Delphine Pearsoon. Callum Smith will be defending his world title on that card, possibly Kell Brook on that card as well. Tommy Coyle against Chris Algieri is another fun fight we'd like to add to that card. So we're in the process of wrapping everything up, and we want to announce virtually the full card next week. So it's a great opportunity for a lot of our young stars to come and make a name for themselves in America.
Are there any names you can mention for Buatsi and Kelly yet?
There's a guy for Buatsi, a guy called Charles Foster. We've been trying to get him to fight. I think he's 9 in the WBA, 18-0 American. Josh Kelly. We've made a couple of offers to some interesting welterweights, and they both want steps up. It's American debut, so there are concerns in that it's a whole new experience for them. But at the same time, they're ready now to progress and start going through the world rankings.